What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing NBA All-Star news, and that is the NBA's All-Star 2024 reserves were just named, and of course, it is a name of names. We have a lot of first-time All-Stars. We have a lot of guys that's well deserving of being All-Stars this upcoming NBA season. And I'm going to get right into it. Of course, we know that the starters of the Western Conference will be Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and also that is the five. So now that you look over who deserves to be reserves, a lot of guys could be here in these particular spots, but I think the NBA the coaches did get it right because, again, the fans do get to elect who they want to see in the game. And I think the fans did a pretty good job just going off of those names that I named on the Western Conference side. Now, as far as reserves, you see the first reserve that was named was Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns, a player that, if you look over the course of the last month or of the season, you look at how he's been playing, putting up 60-point games, putting up 40-point games. That's well deserved without question. Another player that I feel like may have been slighted, honestly, I don't know how he wasn't a starter due to the fact that fans love this guy and what he brings to the game, especially an all-star game. It's Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Without question, I don't think we have an all-star game without a Stephen Curry. He's one player that, honestly, when that game is played, I like to know that Steph will be out there. We want to see the long-range shooting. We want to see all the fun stuff that comes with the All-Star game, and Stephen Curry, by all means, should be in that game. Another reserve from the West is Anthony Davis. Now, before his, injury in their last game, this guy was playing at an unbelievable level, almost MVP type numbers, definitely Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Anthony Davis has been playing some great basketball. You can't dispute that. You look at what the Lakers have been doing as a team, not very good since, the in-season championship. But you look at Anthony Davis and his numbers, by all means, I think he deserves to be in the game. Also, from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, two-time All-Star. This guy is definitely on another level, playing at an all-star, almost MVP type level. You have to definitely give kudos not only to him as an individual, but the Minnesota Timberwolves as a team. You look at, whether it's Rudy Gobert, you look at their entire team. I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves having an all-star is definitely well deserved. You look at the next player that I'm going to name, which is Paul George. PG-13 has definitely been a player, in my opinion, deserving of this spot. The Clippers, after, having a lot of turmoil early on in this season, found a way, turned it around, and now are one of the leading candidates to come out of the Western Conference this season. Also, with Paul George from the Los Angeles Clippers will be Kawhi Leonard, the Claw. Honestly, injuries aside, this guy has been playing this season. All the conversation that can be said about him not playing, we can start to put those kind of to rest right now, because the guy's playing, he's producing, he's an all-star, which is well deserved. And to round out the Western Conference reserves is none other than Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Cat, I believe, Like I said, another player who put on one of those performances of 60 plus points and things like that. The guy has been more consistent than a lot of bigs in the West, and also a part of the number one seeded Western Conference team. So I believe the Minnesota Timberwolves should have two All-Stars. I believe that. I think that the Clippers should have two All-Stars. And I'm not going to say the Thunder should have two All-Stars, but if you were to tell me that the Thunder could have two All-Stars, I wouldn't be mad at that. But when I look at the Western Conference reserves, I don't have a problem with any name on this list, honestly. I don't have a problem with any name on this list. I'm looking at everybody. I think Devin Booker, the only person that people could probably say shouldn't be an All-Star is probably Stephen Curry. A lot of people, I've been hearing that they want to take out Steph for De'Aaron Fox. But, it's Stephen Curry at the end of the day. I don't believe coaches don't vote for put Steph Curry in the game. That's how I feel about that. As far as Anthony Davis, we don't know what his injury status will be for the game. We don't know what LeBron James' status will be for the game. But I don't see LeBron missing an All-Star game. When I look at Domantas Sabonis, he's another name that came up, and you could say, could he be an All-Star? He could be, but I feel like at the end of the day, the coaches got the Western Conference reserves pretty much on point. I'm not mad at any name that came up in this particular roster. Kudos to everybody that made the team for the Western Conference reserves and the Western Conference All-Stars. Now, for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, from the Miami Heat, we have Bam Adebayo, multi-time All-Star, definitely a player from the Miami Heat that you cannot overlook. He's a player that's been, their most consistent outside of, losing Jimmy Butler for an extended period of time, not having Tyler Hero for an extended period of time. Bam Adebayo has been one of the most consistent and on-court producing players for the Heat this season. And you'd like to see that. Another player that, I love to see be an All-Star is Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Spider, who's coming off of a 40-point performance. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are one of those teams, honestly, man. You look at their roster, especially when they start to get back whole and healthy with Mobley, with Garland, with Allen, Strus, all of those guys. But Donovan Mitchell, I believe, is the one that he's the machine that makes the car go, basically. We know what to expect from him. Multiple-time All-Star, definitely well-deserved by him. From the Boston Celtics, we have Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, another player. I said if the Celtics were to have two All-Stars, it was definitely going to be Jaylen Brown along with Jason Tatum. I know a lot of people in the NBA and basketball world were champion for Derek White to be an All-Star, but you have to hold your horses. There are a lot of other good guards that I would put in front of Derek White before we discuss him as an All-Star. But Jaylen Brown, I believe it's well-deserved for him to be an All-Star this upcoming NBA season. The Boston Celtics are one of the better teams of the league. They definitely are head and shoulders above a lot of the competition, and we've seen that nightly. Look at their record at home, and look at Jaylen Brown's stats. Definitely a player that I believe is well-deserved to be an All-Star this upcoming season. Now, this next player, I believe, was well-deserved, could have been a starter, and that is Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. I believe Jalen Brunson of the Knicks could have been a starter over Damian Lillard in the backcourt on the East. But again, this is the fans voted Dame, over Jalen, which I'm not upset at that, but, at the end of the day, when you look at Jalen Brunson, you look at his numbers, you look at the New York Knicks, and what they have accomplished so far this season, this team is definitely one to be reckoned with. Now, the injury to Julius Randle is definitely going to tell a story long term, but right now, I believe what Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks are doing definitely have to be applauded, and that is well deserved by Jalen Brunson being an all-star. First-time all-star at that. Next, by the New York Knicks, you have Julius Randle, a multi-time all-star, definitely one player that surprised me. Honestly, I didn't see Julius Randle being an all-star, but again, sometimes when you look at the East and you look at, other players, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what other player could I put above Julius Randle? And I was going through a list of names, I'll get into that in a moment, but I believe that with the play that Randle has been, showing this season, is definitely up there with the likes of the who's who in the Eastern Conference, and kudos to him being an all-star for the New York Knicks. Also, first-time all-star. This guy, I wanted to be an all-star. I wanted this guy to be an all-star, and I'm glad he's an all-star, and that is Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. First-time all-star, second year in the league, an absolute beast of a player. Definitely averaging career highs across the board. The man is on another level as far as his play. The Orlando Magic were showing a lot of promise early on in the season, especially when you looked at their record, but then, the injury to Franz Wagner and things like that. But Paolo Banchero has definitely been their brightest star, so I believe him being an all-star is well-deserved. Kudos to him, especially being a first-time all-star. And it's going to be fun to see him go out there. Last but not least, a player that I wanted to be an all-star also. I love to see first-time all-stars. I love to see those guys that go out there, do what they're supposed to do, and prove to the public why they should be all-stars, and that is Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. You have, players that you could say, like, okay, he's an all-star because of his contemporary on his team. No, Tyrese Maxey is a really, really good basketball player, and I mean, to the conversation, you can legitly say that Tyrese Maxey is the second best player that has played with Joel Embiid on the Philadelphia 76ers. You can really say that because James Harden's time in Philadelphia, we should have got more. You should have gotten more out of James Harden in Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey has been proven, even in his young career, that he is, a player that you can lean on. You've seen that in the recent game versus Utah. He dropped 50. This guy is a real gamer. This guy comes to play. Now, to round out the Eastern Conference starters to go along with the reserves, you have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. That is the five for the East. The game will be played Sunday, February 14th at 8 p.m. on TNT. I don't know why I plugged them in, but it is what it is. Of course, I'll be watching the game. Let me know if you'll be watching the game. This video has been a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. NBA fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into the channel, it's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I catch you guys on the next video.